What up? Welcome to A2thaShow. It is me, A2thaMo. Or you can call me Mo or A2. You could call me but it probably, I wouldn't remember. I wouldn't remember it, chances are. Anyway, welcome back. Last week had a short episode. Algorithm did not like it, so I'm going to try my best, damn it. Just what happens, I get here by myself, I start talking fast. My wife just texted me. She's not here, so y'all hold with me as I tell her I'm recording a podcast. But yeah, I've had a pretty busy day. All in all, I would say. Our oven / stove. I don't know an oven range, I believe is what they call it. And it went out 2 days ago. It's been showing signs. It's been clicking and making weird like electrical noises that I'd look up and it'd be like, do not use it. But I just kept using it because I'm a fucking idiot. And so yeah, anyway. My vacuum's in the background. I forgot to move it. What a loser. I'm so stupid. So anyway, I mentioned on this podcast a couple weeks ago how I'd been gifted money from my in-laws for Christmas, and it was enough to buy an appliance. It wasn't, but it helped. So today I went to go get one. I had to get one basically just like the one we had previously, or like there's like it's a newer model version of the oven, but we needed a white one, which is not very popular, but to match what our fucking old ass shitty kitchen looks like, so we had to go with. So anyway, I go all the way to the store. Now this is Home Depot, and online this oven was $750, but in the store it was $850. But both were on sale that made the one online go down to $550. But the one in the store went down to $570. So I just found that interesting. So I went ahead and got the one online to save me $20. Had to pay a delivery fee for either one. And because they didn't have any in the store. Like even if I would have bought it in the store, I would have had to wait for it to be delivered to the store. So I was like, well, this is fucking stupid. So anyway, I spent a lot of money today, and that never makes me in a good mood. I'm always, well, not that I'll ever be like in a great mood, but spending much money definitely sours the day. And also we got groceries, so just, fucking Mr. Moneybags over here is how I've been living. And anyway, shout out Nickelodeon as well. I don't know if y'all want to see my t-shirt. This is basically just a pajama shirt, but I was like, fuck it. Who am I getting dressed up for around here? And we got Reptar, we got Nigel, the whole gang's here. It was definitely Nickelodeon kid. Just off the happenstance that in my hometown, that was like the kids channel we had. Eventually we got Disney, but we had Nickelodeon first. And no Cartoon Network on my local cable. So to me, that was rich kid shit. And then eventually got satellite as a teenager and discovered a few things. But I will say Dexter's Laboratory always caught my attention. If I was at a friend's house who had it, or maybe in a hotel somewhere that was on, I did think Dexter's Laboratory was very funny. But I can't think of any others necessarily that jump off from like my younger years. Later on, Aqua Teen Hunger Force I enjoyed. But I think that's just like a stoner thing. I don't know. No, I know one guy who's on a stoner who loves it. So maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. All right, let's what's happening in the world now that I've texted the spouse. There's an Iranian revolution happening. It's not being televised. So we're not really hearing much about it. Now, that phrase I mentioned, but first I guess the thing is, apparently people going to the streets, ripping off their burqas and demanding freedoms, things like that. I don't know how true any of this is. Again, we're not seeing it on a reputable news station, and then anything online could be AI, so you just never fucking know anymore. And news stations could be AI too. It can all be AI. You never fucking know. But there's always been this talk of the history of Iran and how like in the 1970s you have pictures of like, hot Iranian women not, just wearing normal fucking clothes or whatever. But then there was like a religious revolution at some time that like got them more into the sort of idea that we have of them now. And then another part was like, maybe they're not even as bad as you think. It's just like every country, you just see the most extreme of whatever they offer. And that's like what you think. Even with America, I think, well, each state or region, I think, has its own sort of stereotypes, and sometimes they're true. But Anyway, so Iranian revolution's happening. And what I mean by not being televised, that's a very famous speech by someone I should probably know who gave this is like, tune in or tune out. The revolution will not be televised. And I think it's meant a lot of things over the years. And I know for myself, I reinterpreted different ways. I'm like, this is actually what they meant. And I think in general, what I think it means to me, and I don't even know if this is what the person who said originally meant. I think they might have meant something else. I think they are more of like, quit being fucking lazy sitting on your couch and like get out in the streets and do something. Or maybe that's just an interpretation, one of many. But I think it means that the people who control the media are not going to show you like the system being dismantled because they run that system. I mean, so you're not going to know about it through their means of delivering messages. They're not going to show, but maybe that's a more conspiratorial view on that whole thing. So anyway, right on the podcast, let me know. That's A2thaShow@gmail.com in case I forget to put the thing up here because I haven't done it in 12 weeks or something to mention the email. Also send us music, goddammit. We do that. We play some music around here sometimes. So anyway, that's Iranian stuff happening. Not a big deal where I'm at in the world, but I do see it. And then a little follow up on the ICE shooting that happened. I recorded last week's episode pretty early, a few days earlier than normal, and I was just going off like it just happened, and I was like, I don't know, off my fucking view, I think the guy shouldn't have shot her. And I think really what's going to come down to my argument on all of this, and this happens a lot in these like sort of police shooting arguments I've had on this podcast over the years, is does what they did deserve that they lose their life? I'm going to say no. So let's like even say the woman, people don't know, there was in Minnesota, these ICE agents we're doing ICE agent stuff, and then some vehicle stopped and were getting in the way or obstructing or whatever they're claiming. And then they surround her car, and then she goes to drive off. They claim she was trying to run one of them over. And again, I just think from the main video everyone's seen, I don't think it looks like that. And then they shoot the driver. And I guess my thought, and this is how like all the previous ones you've saw were like, anytime a cop shoots someone that's running away, like you can get her license plate, like fucking go arrest her. Like, okay, she swerved at you. I don't think if he didn't shoot her, that guy was gonna die personally. And I know that's the argument they're making. They claim he went to the hospital and has internal bleeding, which I think could mean there's a great severity difference in the highs and lows of what that could be. But again, even if he did get hit by a car that he jumped in front of, which again I think is important here because I think if you jumped in front of a cop car, they would blame you for putting yourself there. I don't think a person deserves their life to be lost because of that situation. Now, what I think is like way deeper in like the movie that gets made about this someday, and like the things that are like, ooh, interesting, is the woman is a lesbian. She was in a lesbian relationship. And the person actually talking shit was like the butchier, dykier lesbian in the relationship. I don't know if that's offensive. It probably is, but y'all know what I mean. Like there was the one that kind of was playing the male, if you will, a little bit, had to look. And I think she was a top that was like the talk a lot of shit and probably got them in the situation. But she wasn't the one that got shot. The like probably not less vocal one and of the two is the one that got shot. It reminds me of the Offset scenario. I don't know. Was it Takeoff? Whichever one got shot. I'll be honest. I'm not familiar enough with the Migos. So anyway, a lot of stuff happening coming out there. I think, the ICE agents aren't going to get in any trouble if I have to guess. And then it also there's like this whole fucking civil war, Minnesota versus the federal government. It seems to be, they're like, get your federal agents out of here. We're going to put our troops. And I'm like, well, this is getting crazy. Now, again, I think ICE has gone way too far. I don't know. And I think all this stuff's interesting. I think I learned something through every presidency and every year, even in politics, of like, oh, I guess none of this actually does matter. It was all bullshit. Like, what the fuck is anyone even going to do? If you really wanted to stop, like, hey, these people shouldn't be, asking IDs from American citizens that haven't committed crimes because that's against the Fourth Amendment or whatever the fucking one it is. I don't, I'm not familiar enough to really know. Someone should be like, hey, we got to stop this, and this is how. But instead, it seems as if the ICE officers can do whatever they want, and they have no consequence. I think that is the thing. So I think when we're losing this illusion of like, no, there are things you can do here. I think that's why people are kind of going to get crazy. I don't know. I don't think people are going to attack them or anything, but maybe. People around here love it, I guess. Also, a guy that got hit by the car and shot the woman, he had a Filipino wife that's on a green card. I believe that was what came out. And so, again, the movie's going to be so fucking good. Like, he's going to wake up that morning with his, like, Filipino wife speaking fucking non-English languages. I guess Filipino is part of their language. And making some, like, noodles and egg dish. And he's going to be like, oh. And then he's going to go out there to do his job, kicking out all the immigrants. Anyway, just book at Hollywood. Maybe I need to write movies, damn it. If I knew how to write, I mean, I technically not a write, I'm a decent reader, but not a very creative writer as far as like an essay or story, or never have been. I can rhyme or write rap music. That came out as rhyme. I can't rhyme. Speaking of which, I've been working on a lot of stuff. I'll talk about something later that has put a dead halt on all my music stuff. But before my halt, I'm still got just one song left to record of my own. I've started writing it, but it's so fucking sad and just like me talking shit on myself, basically. And then I have been mixing Southern Comfort's album. And I now realize, I thought we were going to do it like real fast, but it's going to take a second because we got other people sending verses and things like that. So kind of slowed down on that a little bit. And then next week's episode, I plan on playing like an old song of mine. And so I was trying to listen through some old songs that I have on Spotify. And, trying to keep notes like, oh, this one I could probably play. It's still decent, not too cringy, shit like that. But a song I always claim that is my best song called Two Different People came on. And the mix is fucking horrible. It's like I hear it and I was like, man, I know I always say like, I know the mix is bad, but still probably my best written song. And honestly, it's probably not my best written song. I think I'm probably past it. Maybe. I don't know. And, but anyway, I got like discouraged listening with it. Me was like, fuck it. I'm just going to redo it. And then like the song that played right after that was an instrumental I have of the Two Different People. I have that on Spotify as well. And the instrumental sounds better than the original song. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna have to bite the bullet and I'm gonna try to redo this song. And I know people are like, who cares? But it was one of those things like I feel like I just caught the right. In the original, I have like a certain emotion I catch in it that I don't know. I can always record a verse, but sometimes it just doesn't feel right. So you're like, I gotta scrap that one and we gotta do it another day or something. It matters to me. It wouldn't matter probably to the listener, or very rarely. I don't have many fans unless this is 200 years from now when people found me through digital archaeology and then I'm a big deal. And then I appreciate y'all tuning in even 200 years later. I'm somewhat like the Michelangelo of my time. I guess Michelangelo is still pretty popular in his own time, huh? So is Leonardo. So was Donatello maybe a little, maybe, I don't know. Maybe none of them were. Van Gogh, was Van Gogh after his time he got famous? Something like that. Y'all get what I'm trying to go for here. Also in news, we want Greenland again. So about a year ago or something, we were talking about how Trump kept talking about he's wanting to make Greenland the 51st state or 52nd. Because I think at that time Canada was going to be the 51st state. And they keep mentioning it's like some sort of military strategic thing of, well, we got to be closer to Europe or whatever. And other people claim it's because it's in the Arctic Circle, which makes it close to China and Russia by going through the Arctic route. And maybe that's true. And then you see a lot of like propaganda videos on both sides. So it'll be like them interviewing people in Denmark who's like, we would never get rid of Greenland. And Denmark's like way over here in Europe. And Greenland's way over here in like North America. Maybe not way over here. The maps have really fucked us because they're a lot closer together there at the top, but they always stretch them out and to make Africa look smaller because it's part of white supremacy. And so anyway, we want Greenland, basically, is the whole thing. And like, so before Denmark says they're not going to sell it, but the people in Greenland, at least the videos I've seen, a lot of them are like, fuck yeah, we'll join America. Because it's like, they're not their own country. They're rather part of Denmark, or they can go join America. So I think some of them are like, I don't know, this seems fine to me. And then Jimmy Carr, who's a British stand-up comedian, saw his bit on it of like, well, you give it to him. You know why? Because they have the military. I mean, you're not going to fight over it if it came down to it. So who knows? We'll see what ends up happening there. Other people say it's because they have a bunch of resources and minerals and things like that. Same reason why we're in Venezuela, giving them democracy at the moment so they can have American and international companies come in and use their resources and sell to everyone else, because that's what they've been doing for hundreds of years. All these places. See, Venezuela is interesting because they've had this the guy that we arrested. They had him in power for years, but also just their whole history. They could have been like, hey, let's make money off this and make our people rich, but they, I think, don't really pump much oil or do much with their resources. So the sort of American view is like, well, if you're not going to use it, we're going to go in there and show you how. But there should be some argument to them being like, well, they have the right not to, but then again, they were suffering, and a lot of people were, we're taking the refugees from there through oh my God, I can't believe I can't think of the name, where the amnesty programs. And then whenever you're like, oh, well, let's go get rid of that, make it better, people are like, how dare you? And I'm like, well, we were taking refugees for this. So I don't know. It's just all interesting. I think, again, depends on what president does what, and different people's whole tune changes. I think that's accurate still that Obama deported more people than Trump has. I don't know if the numbers are still hold up, who knows, but no one ever is like, how dare Obama for deporting those people? And a lot of times that doesn't even matter. Like the actual results. My wife this morning was watching a video of Obama from some fucking year. My wife's pretty liberalish. And she was just like, oh, he was just such a great speaker and a great man. And he was decent. And I was like, sure. But he fucking killed children with drones or approved the strikes. He wasn't, what did he get done? He passed Obamacare that was just like, oh, now you have to have health insurance. Not you're guaranteed universal health care, but like, no, you have to pay us for it. The most American version possible. Like you can't even opt out or whatever. And if you do, you then pay us a fee on your taxes. So I loved Obama at the time. I've been pretty critical of him in hindsight of like, what did he do again? And my wife goes, yeah, but he was decent. He didn't like flip off a guy in the factory because Trump did that this week. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I'm not even a Trump fan, but that just does not. It's almost, part of me is like, if Obama would have flipped off someone that was talking shit, that would have been fun. I don't know. I would have been fine with that. I understand like a certain news stations wouldn't have been, and they would have talked a lot of shit on it, but I would have been fine with it. So I know sometimes it's hard to like separate the you yourself from, what the public was thinking or saying at the time. But anyway, neither here nor there, I would say. And then I gotta just say here before the song, R.I.P. to Eric Von Daniken, or Daniken, however the fuck you pronounce it. And I know all the time, like, people care too much about celebrities and celebrity deaths, and it's not a big deal to me. In general, it's not. But Eric Von Daniken is basically the godfather or the father of ancient alien theory. And I know a lot of people are just the History Channel show, and you're like, stuff's ridiculous. And it is ridiculous. It's only really good for 2 seasons, and then they pretty much ran out of shit immediately. They also rely way too heavily on the Mayan calendar stuff. And then after 2012 happened and then none of that happened, then you kind of like, well, a lot of these episodes are stupid. But in general, I really like the ancient alien theory. I think even if it's not true, it opens up your mind to like, who the fuck knows or whatever. But Eric Von Daniken wrote this book, which I meant to grab out this bookcase over here, but I just forgot all about it. But I do have it called Chariot of the Gods. And it was kind of the first one that somewhat asked like, well, he was German, he grew up religious, and every time he heard a religious story and heard about God doing this, like he just imagined like an actual being doing stuff and was like, well, yeah, what if it's all aliens? Like, not that it's all aliens, but like the stories you hear are the aliens, not like replace them with a new story, but like they are them. And I do think about that's just really interesting, and I've always really liked it. So anyway, shout out that guy. Now, the most famous person from Ancient Aliens is the man that in my household is referred to as Hair, but his name is Giorgio, some crazy Greek thing or whatever. And he's kind of disappeared. And so lately people are claiming that he knows too much, so they're not letting him do his TV shows or some shit like that, which is, always fun. Always a good time. And then last week I bitched about pizza, and I understand it's probably a dumb topic for a lot of people. We just have bad pizza or whatever. And I had such a delicious pizza yesterday. And what happened was my wife is a school teacher, and they had a pizza party at lunch, and that she was kind of in charge of. So she ordered a bunch of pizza. Then I happened to be around the area, and I came by. I really didn't plan it, but it just happened. And then she was like, "Here, eat some of this pizza." And I took a bite and was like, "Why is this so good compared to when we order a pizza at night?" And then my wife just is like, "Oh, it's the day shift. The day shift's competent adults, and they're really good at lunch. And then by night shift, it's all teenagers and they suck." And she's probably correct. But man, it really, really upset me how good that pizza was, because I'm like, y'all are capable of this and you aren't doing it. So there's an update for everybody on my pizza woes from last week. All right, we're going to play a song here. I believe we got 2 more weeks of Sir Nasty's album, and then we got a bunch of other shit. We got Itch Boy A2thaShow's album's almost done. I got music. We got this new guy. I kind of forgot the name, but we got this new guy in the reserve and on deck. Maybe is the right terminology I want to use here. Oh no, I guess I need to pull up my correct notes. All right, we're going with Sir Nasty here, and then it is off of his album Dealing With My Problems, which we are the exclusive player of here on the podcast, I believe. I mean, he could let other people know it. I'm not keeping up, if I have to be real honest, everybody, as well as I should be. Anyway, the name of the song we're going with here is called Letting Me Be Me. I really thought I might have played this one already too, just going off the name, but in my notes, I had it written for this episode, so I'm going to just trust myself from a few weeks ago, and we will give it a listen.
Makes beats.
Hey, hail to the queens. We appreciate y'all, for real. You saw something in me. I don't know what you saw in me. That's real shit. And I don't know what you did, but I'm glad that you did, cause now I can feel shit. Girl, you amazing. And you so sweet to them kids that we raising. I come from the streets where the guns stay blazing. Mrs. Voorhees, there is only one Jason. I swear sometimes I don't know what to do. I know sometimes you just wanna be through. And every time I say I love you, it be true. I went and bought a ring, girl, what you wanna do? Yeah, I'm talking to you. You ain't gotta say who. You my best friend, you my dog, you my boo. And every time I get mad, I just think of you. You let me be me, so I let you be you. You see, I can take you shopping downtown if you want to. I can lick you down, dick you down if you want to. I can take you out if you wanna eat. Girl, I thank you for letting me be me. See, I can take you shopping downtown if you want to. I can lick you down, dick you down if you want to. I can take you out if you wanna eat. Girl, I thank you for letting me be me. Every time we out, it be jumping. Our party jumping. It ain't even Wednesday, but we still humping. I ain't out of order, #1 supporter. All them damn shoes in your closet like a hoarder. I'm on the phone with your mom, you know I love your daughter. I talk to your daddy, you know I got your daughter. Yeah. You know how we rock, late night smoking weed, chilling in the block. I swear sometimes I don't know what to do, cause every time I get down, I just call you. And every time I want some, girl, I think of you. You know I walk a million miles to see you. Your shit is the bomb, pineapple juice and some Malibu rum. Say you wanna see me, okay, here I come. I give you the stick, help me load up the drum. That's some G shit. I can take you shopping downtown if you want to. I can lick you down, dick you down if you want to. I can take you out if you wanna eat. Girl, I thank you for letting me be me. See, I can take you shopping downtown if you want to. I can lick you down, dick you down if you want to. I can take you out if you wanna eat. Girl, I thank you for letting me be me. Hail to the queens that fuck with the underground king. I appreciate y'all. And hail to my queen. Somebody, when you see her, tell her I said, you feel me?
Sir Nasty with Letting Me Be Me. Shout out to the queens, if you will. And he ain't talking about the homosexuals. He's talking about the ladies. You know, they take everything. They took the rainbow. No, I've never been too upset about it, but it is interesting. I think the trans thing, we should have saw it coming. We should have saw it coming. That's all I'm going to say. And probably even cut that. We'll see. So anyway, Sir Nasty, I'm sure he's still working on stuff. I know I just recorded a verse for Southern Comfort, and the word is Sir Nasty will be on that song as well. So we have one in the works there. We'll see what happens. I'll be honest, I feel like I kind of killed this song. I might have been a little off topic. That's always the struggle sometimes with making a song. And I just, you find a rhyme scheme at first, you're like, I'm going to go with that. And for me, there's not even a gram scheme. I write a line or two, and then I write a line or two more. And then, we'll see if it all connects up and makes sense. But because I recorded recently, I'm like, you know what? I think it was pretty good. Called Celebrate 2 on A2thaShow Sessions, I think is the name of the album. So y'all get mentally prepared, start jelking in your mind to the ideas of a collection of Southern Comfort songs that comes in at a whopping, at the moment, 25 songs. Trying to trim down to 24, but we'll see. Or even less. I don't know. All right. Let's see. What am I going to talk about? Now, I should have had video of this next thing I'm going to talk about, but I don't. So I apologize if anyone likes the visual aid. So you will have to imagine a little bit with me. But the reason I haven't been playing games, video games that is, or working on music the last few days, is I've gotten obsessed with making my own Jellyfin server. Jellyfin is thing kind of like Plex. If people have heard of Plex, it's another thing. They're the same kind of deal where you basically I can try to think of the easiest way to explain this to people. You can take a hard drive, plug it into your computer. I have a second computer, so I have a hard drive plugged into it, and then I'm ripping all of my DVDs and Blu-rays and putting it on this hard drive, and then I use a Jellyfin, which is a website, or not a website, it's software, but you download from a website, and you host that computer, becomes the host server, and then you can download an app on your Roku TV or whatever, and you can access the things from that hard drive on your TV. So you're basically making your own Netflix, is the way people talk about it. It's not exactly, because I'm not making original content and putting it out, but I already have every episode of Workaholics, for instance, and King of the Hill that I've had for years. And so those I added to it. And so now I can pretty easily access those. I've been watching a lot of Workaholics lately, and it is so good. I mean, if I have to redo our top 20 list of movies or TV shows someday, it's sneaking up there. I think it's so good. So anyway, I have been spending the last few days going through all my DVD and Blu-ray collection, which I do have, not a lot. It's your boy H2, to my knowledge, I think has hundreds and hundreds of things. I probably have 50 to 60 Blu-ray movies, and then maybe 100 to 200 DVDs, maybe, no, I'm probably not quite that many DVDs. I know I have this thing that holds 100 that's full. And then I have a handful of other DVDs around this house and different. My wife refuses. I throw away all my cases, and my wife refuses to do that. So I'm like, well, then you got to figure out a place to store them, because I ain't got room for all that shit. So anyway, I've been wasting a lot of time doing this. I have 3 computers going at once, two ripping DVDs, 1 ripping Blu-ray, because I only have 1 Blu-ray drive. And the Blu-rays take so long to fucking rip, and they fail way more often. You get this program called Make MKV, and you rip off and you could pull out all the extra content, because I was doing that at first. I was like, yeah, I would want the special features, but honestly, all the special features, a 5-minute video, maybe the same size as the whole movie, because they didn't compress it at all, or so, there was just weird shit. So I stopped caring about that. I'm like, well, we'll just get the movie. And so I started doing that, and very quickly it was like, oh my God, I'm filling up so much hard drive space. I don't think I'm gonna have enough room. And I had a 1 terabyte hard drive, which isn't shit, but it's enough to get started. And so I went ahead and bought a really expensive, not really expensive, but a fairly expensive used hard drive online that'll get here within the week, so I can put more stuff in the future. But right now I think I have about 800 gigabytes of stuff on my little server. And TV shows take up way more room. than a movie, but anyway, so I was saying everything was taking up so much room. So I had to look into that, but everyone's already thought of this shit. So, this is a very popular thing you can look up online, this Jellyfin server community. And there's a program called Handbrake, and you get Handbrake and you can run your Blu-ray, your videos through it with certain settings, and then it shrinks the file. So then it takes like a Blu-ray, I think it's like 40 to 50 gigabytes, something like that, and then it'll shrink it down to like 4 gigabytes. And so that's way helpful there. And then I think it was getting DVDs down to 1 gig, I think possibly. So maybe even a little less, I believe. So yeah, anyway, that's very cool. But like I said, doing TV shows is a motherfucker because I have The Office, and you gotta rip them, and then you gotta name the episodes, and because they don't come out named and stuff. So there's a little work to it, and a lot of people will be like, "This is miserable," but in a weird way, this is actually like I secretly really enjoy this sort of stuff. I get obsessed with these sort of projects. So like the last year was my PlayStation 2. I was like, oh, and now I must get all of the ROM hacks for all the PS2 games I want to put on this PS2. And there's been other various moments like this throughout my life where I will get obsessed about something. And my wife's very annoyed at me at the moment about it because she's like, why aren't go play video games or something? I'm like, well, I can't because I have this project I'm doing and I have to work on the project. And also it's like, I think she's like, well, we're not canceling anything, right? I'm like, no, not right now. But I do think it could lead to, I could have less streaming services at one time, because, we have all this backlog stuff we could watch here. And I never watch movies, hardly ever. And I own so many of them. And I think this will increase my likelihood to actually watch them. I'm so lazy. I'm not going to go pick up a DVD and put it in the thing and click this stuff. But, I will, I think I use the Jellyfin app. So it's very cool right now. I know there is a way that I could like give people logins to it from however far, from wherever they're at in the world, and they could log into it, but it requires a use of a VPN by both sides, I believe. And so I don't know. I haven't looked into it yet because I'm just getting started, but maybe someday. But it is cool. I have a user. My wife has a user account. So when you log in, it's like any other streaming service, and you click who you are. And then I could customize it where, each side sees different things if you wanted. But I think there's actually like a lot of plugins and a lot of customizing you can do to it. I just have not went down that rabbit hole. I wanted to get it all set up first. But I think by the end of the week, I should have almost everything. I just bought my wife the Blu-rays of Downton Abbey. So I want to put those on there, but it's going to take so long to rip all those, Blu-ray series or whatever. So, but I'm committed at the moment, and that is my life now. I'm a streaming guy, or a make my own stream service guy. It's kind of my thing. So maybe in the future I will, once I get it, because I actually don't, if I didn't install on this computer the media player where I could easily pull up and show you all, I would. I just forgot to install it on here because I'm a fucking idiot. But I'm sure eventually I will want to show it off. And so right now, the TV shows I have been collecting over the years are things that like when they get canceled a little too early, and I'm like, or like things like I don't know where to watch them. They're not on streaming services. And so I do have a couple like rare ones. Like Masters of Sex was a Showtime show that is not on the Showtime service. And it sounds like was that a porno series? But it was based in like the 50s or 60s, like when these doctors were the first people actually studying sex and stuff. And but there's also like drama because the doctors are fucking each other. Good Showtime show. They also have a Young Doctor's Notebook, which is a random AMC show that me and my wife liked a long time ago. A show called Humans. It was a BBC show. Random shit that I like. I don't know where else to watch them. But we'll see. We'll see what all I collect on this service. But if anyone out there is curious, and you have to have a little bit of technical know-how, I will say that I don't think you have to be like a fucking tech whiz, but you have to at least like, you'll fuck around with some files and shit on a computer. You're not too scared about that. Some people this would be a lot it would be way too much for them. They couldn't do it. But I think there's something out there they would enjoy it. Another part you can do on this as well, and this is my next step, but I don't want to waste the money yet because I just bought an oven and all kind of. I've just been spending money like crazy this month. They have tuner cards, like you can put like a card in your computer that has a coax cable, like a TV tuner. So like you can put a TV antenna on it, and then you can get TV antenna channels on your computer. So that's a thing you can do that has nothing to do with what I've been talking about. But if you do that, you can then connect that to your server so that your server can play antenna TV from that antenna. So like if you got a good antenna or got a good signal somewhere at that computer, you could then watch that somewhere else in your house or looks it through a VPN from another location. So that might be next on my creating my own custom streaming server. Very excited here at the moment. Trying to think if there's anything else. I'm sure there was something else there. As far as video games, I am just still playing Spider-Man 2. I don't have any footage of it or not, but I have been playing a little bit of it before I started getting obsessed with this, and I'll probably get back into it. Honestly, I just keep getting. I'm in that stage where I want to play video games a lot. I think about all the different games I want to play. I'm like, oh, I should get back to this, and I'm gonna replay that. But the video games take up a lot of time, and I've personally found them more enjoyable when you just sit and conquer one at a time. But because of that, there's a lot of like, you feel like you're not doing much. You're just playing the same game over and over. And again, they take way longer. It's not like reading a book or watching a movie where, you can finish it pretty quickly. Some games are pretty long. So I need to get back into it. But instead, what happens, I just get like notifications of like, hey, this game on your wish list is for sale. Do you want to buy it? And I just stare all day. I'm like, what is $20 off? And I'm like, I have fucking 12.5 games that I need to play that I haven't played yet. So you just get stuck in this sort of like, well, you feel like you should, but it'll probably be on sale again sometime. But then some games go like a year with no sale. And so, this is the psychological war games the motherfucking PlayStation and Steam store are doing to me. So we'll see what happens. There's a game Absolve them or Absolve, whatever the fuck it is. Some roguelike side brawler game. And I don't really like beat 'em ups is actually what it is. Typically, but I have a lot of friends that do, and I love roguelikes. I'm like, maybe this is my way in. So it's on sale at the moment. That's my latest one I'm debating. And then the last game I bought, fucking Triangle Strategy, I played for, I don't even know, a few hours and was like, I was so mad I wasted my money buying that. I'll have to get back to it someday, but that left a sour taste in my mouth. So now I don't want to buy anything. And then there's rumor that the Fallout 3 remaster or remake, I don't know what it is going to come out in February after Fallout Season 2 ends on Amazon. And if that's true, I'll probably have to buy it. I mean, I love Bethesda open world games. I've actually never played Fallout 3. I played New Vegas was my first Fallout game, and then I played 4 a lot. 3 is a fan favorite. It's a lot like the Oblivion, which I always say is my favorite Elder Scroll. It's kind of like that series version of sort of like the real ones are like, no, 3's the best. I don't know, New Vegas is pretty fucking good. 4 is good too. So anyway, I might have to get that. But then there's another game 2 more games coming out in March that I want. Actually, just one in March, one in April. So man, just a lot of video games coming out. And those games being Crimson Desert in March, Saros in April. And then there's that part of me that's always like, you got to quit playing games and get a second job. Skinny got a second job. And now I feel like even more so like, man, if Skinny get a second job, I can. I mean, you guys have, his first job is like labor intensive and he works a lot. And then he got a second job because he's like, well, I got teenagers. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. But I need to pay off student loans and shit because that shit's never going away. So maybe I should be getting second jobs, but who knows? I guess chances are, yeah, that is what I should do, but fuck the man, and I could die next week. And then what's the point? That's always my thought process. I'm just going to die soon. And then none of it will matter. I guess I need to divorce my wife before I die so I don't pass over my debt or something. So, getting a little bit of a heads up, I guess, could be cool. It could be fun. Also, update on my dog. I don't know if I talked about this last week or not. If I did, I forgot to mark it off here. My dog did have a tumor. So that thing on her foot, which they had told us before was her paw pad had got damaged and swollen and then infected and just kept swelling. And that's what it was, you know. And then I felt bad, like I messed up by not noticing she damaged something and doctoring it, you know. The whole time I felt really guilty. And then it turns out it was a fucking tumor. And so this is after they all said it wasn't a tumor. And then we paid extra money for them to go ahead and send it in just to test. And they came out, well, actually it was. And now they say it's as benign the right word. I don't know. I should remember this stuff. You know, said it's not going to spread or anything, and we shouldn't be concerned, but also keep an eye on it in case one does happen. We can bring her back to get that removed. I'm like, well, I thought, well, you know, a little bit of talking on both sides of their mouth a little bit. And anyway, my dog, when we first got her back from surgery, I'm sure I mentioned before, you know, she was pretty all right. She was sore and drugged up like a motherfucker. You know, she was just sleeping all the time, but in like a drugged up sort of sleep. But she kind of was still herself. You could like see her personality in there and stuff. But this last week, she is the grumpiest dog of all time. I mean, she is just grunting and huffing and puffing about everything. She won't go to the park. I mean, I've forced her to, but she doesn't want to be there. And she's just upset with the world. And my dog was like a puppy at 10 years old sort of vibe. You know, she's 10 now, but she just had a puppy energy, and it makes my wife very upset that my dog's whole personality's changed, and me as well. But my wife seems to be taking it really hard for some reason. And I think, you know, everything looked up, she's probably just still sore internally with their, like, you know, there's 3 layers of stitches or some shit like that. And probably just getting used to not having that toe that they had to cut off. But it's very sad. It's very sad around here. She doesn't want treats. She barely eats her food. She just doesn't get her tail. The only time her tail wags, it used to be all the time. But what's happened lately is my wife goes to bed at like 8:30, like goes to bed real early. And the dog will go to bed with her. She'll go in there and go to sleep. And then at about 10:30, the dog will get up out of bed and then come find me to bring me to bed, because that's like what she wants to do. She's a herding animal. But the last 2 nights, when she comes around the corner, her tail is wagging. She's like, she thinks it's morning, I guess, or something. And she's all pumped for about 1 minute. And then she wants to go outside and piss. And then she wants to come in and go back to sleep. So I do think it's in there somewhere, but it's very sad. Love my dog. Hate to see her struggling. So, all right, let's play a song here. Our next song we're going with is from homie. It's your boy H2. Always working on music out there. The next song, the next one we're going to play from him is a song called Nightlight. I don't remember what album this is off of, but if y'all give me a second, I'm going to pull up songs because I had to play it anyway. But guess what I did not have pulled up? My Spotify player. And I'm going to open it right now. It's going to be like, well, actually, there's a fucking update. Because that's what it does. All right. Hey, the Mo Show Q. Oh, A2thaShow Q. What am I talking about over here? I guess that's the next iteration, A2thaMo Show. Or should I keep it going? All right. Not a lot. It's your boy H2. Let's give it a listen.
All I can do is lay awake and just think about the path that I made and the path that I take. How many times I done had them laugh in my face till they crying like I'm nothing but a sad joke. They say we friends, but all they wanna do is poke. Some harder than others, don't even know how I cope. Still breathing, but it ain't, cause I passed on the slope. Kept myself afloat while I watch them sink their own boat. All I do is inhale, fill my lungs up with hope. So when I let it out, everything's so dope. And I don't wanna be worshipped like the Pope. I just want my flow to be worth the thought of you doing so. When I see them lights, I'ma go and eat up everything in sight. I'ma go in every angle of mine, I'ma show in hopes I shape the greatest story ever told. Let's go. Can you illuminate this room of mine just like a nightlight, so it'll help me sleep when I'm dreaming of living this nightlife? So can you illuminate this room of mine just like a nightlight, so it'll help me sleep when I'm dreaming of living this nightlife? All I have is thoughts and memories of me losing it all in my prime like Kennedy. Cold sweats waking up in the night, couldn't believe that music was the only thing soothing me back to sleep, so I can get back to being high and mighty with an aphrodisiac from my beautiful Aphrodite. The knights wanna fight me the second that they sight me, cause armor keeps them all from living the life brightly. It's enlightening to have ideas like lightning, strike the right place with great timing. Don't mind me, I'm underground gold mining, hope to hit deep enough that I reveal a silver lining. It's been there the whole time, and it's sublime to think about my rhyming. You need more than one mind. I let divine grind intertwine with the sun's design to honor all I got. You gon' need more than one shrine.
Can you illuminate this room of mine just like a nightlight, so it'll help me sleep when I'm dreaming of living this nightlife? So can you illuminate this room of mine just like a nightlight, so it'll help me sleep when I'm dreaming of living this nightlife?
All I do is toss and turn in my bed, counting the hours and how many hours I spent simply to devour other cowards. I'd rather not talk about it. Been writing 3 days straight and haven't taken a shower. Now if that ain't dedication, sweat pouring off of my face, and I'm entertained at the thought of just making it in this game. Craft the strongest lines ever created, all out of pain. Say I'm going in, I say I'm all out of sane, cause you gotta be crazy to run tracks without a train. Even when I ain't explicit, I'm far from simplistic. Feel my thoughts are ideal, but not called idealistic. I was only 25, how could I be perfect this quick? When them other guys did, I just couldn't quit this. If you know it's broke, you do anything to fix it. I studied it all, pop quiz me, and bet you get dizzy at the thought of all the knowledge that I got in me that college didn't even give me. I'm not simple, to put it simply. Tried to give up once, but something in me wouldn't let me in me, so I defend the right to spew truth till I'm empty. So when the night falls, I'll go as far as my dreams wanna send me.
It's your boy H2 with Nightlight. Very cool. The beat's pretty new, honestly. I almost kept it for myself, considered it heavily, but I was like, you know what? It's got a little bit of that twang, and I always think H2 fits good on those twangy beats. And for me, it's just like I want to do a twangy beat, but I never do. Someday, we will maybe do it. But very nice, very cool. I believe that was 3 verses. I could have miscounted, but you don't get that too often these days. It's becoming more rare, I would say. All right, we've come here towards the end. Let's see if there's anything I need to bring up first. Y'all remember the Epstein files? Oh, not really. That wasn't it. But here's one thing I do want to bring up before it becomes not a not story. Is Amy Poehler winning Podcast of the Year at the Golden Globes. Now, the Golden Globes, Hollywood award show or whatever, and they've added podcasts because podcasts have been taking a lot of the viewership and attention from TVs and movies. So they're finally giving them their just due and putting them in there, even though video games probably should be there before podcasts if we're going off of who's spending times on mediums or whatever. But anyway, Amy Poehler's podcast wins. I can't remember what it's called. It is produced by The Ringer, which I do. I've been a supporter of The Ringer since they first launched their website and all their podcasts, just like Bill Simmons' podcast, who's the founder. And I mean, he's losing it as an old man, but it's still halfway entertaining as a sports podcast. But I really do have a problem with Amy Poehler winning. Now, nothing against Amy Poehler. She, is a very funny comedian, actress. I just don't think a famous celebrity that interviews people is the best podcast. I understand there's a lot of categories and maybe they should have done different categories or whatever, but there's just better people in just that. I mean, I think Conan, probably biased, but I would say he would be my choice. But I mean, Amy Poehler just starts her first year. That's when podcasts are the easiest, I would say, for these famous people. And it's just nothing innovative. I don't know. There's just nothing about that's like, oh, yeah, that's the best. So that was just a crazy choice. I guess maybe just because she was an actress and it's Hollywood. And they're like, yeah, we'll give it to this actress because we know that is. I don't even know who was all nominated, to be honest. I'm not saying Joe Rogan should win because I think he's falling the fuck off. But he probably should have been nominated, especially if we're showing off famous people that interview people. I mean, I don't know. I just thought that was a wild one. I guess if I had to choose, I would probably say it's something that has higher production value, something like that's actually an audio experience through, sound cues and things like that. Or if you're going with a video podcast, something that, brings something to the table visually, maybe. I just think people that just actually put production into it should win over, I mean, Matt and Shane Singer podcast is the best podcast, and they just fucking set up the camera on anywhere and just start recording. So maybe none of that does matter. But anyway, that was the thought I had. And I needed, not needed. I was going to talk about the fact my birthday is coming up in a couple days. And then I was going to pull up some pictures on Facebook. This may be a horrible idea for a segment, not good at all, but you know what? That's what I'm going to try, goddammit. And so yeah, my birthday's in a couple days. I'm going to be 38. I'm a little saddened by it. Not like a fucking bitch, but I am getting old. I have no kids. I have achieved and accomplished basically nothing in my life. I have a job and that pays me money and I pay bills. I'm like a cog in the machine, if you will, but I really have done nothing of substance or note. And not that I have to, but that is just all I think about. And I do think if, I had a kid or something, maybe that's like what you think about. And you're like, no, I put all my love into this thing for them to do it. And then if you think that way, then it's like, well, that's what my mom did to me. And I fucking failed that one, And so, I don't know. Birthdays are just sad. I keep telling my wife not to give me a gift. She's like, you have to tell me something. So I sent her a link to an Oklahoma City Thunder hat. And I was like, let's add another one in the collection if I have to get something. But I would rather just ignore it. I don't feel as old as I am. Also, these like fucking 15 to 25-year-olds look older than all the people my age. I don't know what the fuck happened. I guess the internet was stressful or something, but I don't know. I still feel, I won't say I feel like a kid, but I do feel like the way I felt in the last 10 years. I feel like no different than I did as a 28-year-old, probably, maybe slightly different, but not much. And yeah, anyway, birthdays fucking suck. No one ever celebrates it anyway. Like, it's not like I've ever had a thing that happened. So, boo birthdays. That's what I say. And I don't know. Maybe I'll accomplish something someday, but not today. But also, I'm just going to keep doing stuff. So, I think a lot of people may be having these depressive sort of thoughts of all your life choices would maybe change everything. And maybe that is the answer. But I probably will just keep making a podcast because I enjoy it. My old podcast I made money on through Patreon. I've yet to do that with this one. If people would be interested in joining, let me know. But honestly, it's just tough times out there, and you don't need to be giving me fucking money to talk to people. Just listen to my music if you want. Pay me through streams or something. But yeah, I'm gonna probably keep making music as well, even though I know I should quit that. Like, I'm way too old. No one cares. I'm sure most people make fun of me behind my back, but I just think it's pretty decent. Sorry, let's get to these fucking pictures. So pulling up Facebook, I think I got the crops right here. You're going to see some small ones that I probably should, don't want y'all to see, but it is what it is. The first one I really want to start with, and I would go older, but a lot of these old pictures, what it is there's like before, the pictures are so tiny. You can't make them big. So this is the first me and Pow Wow picture. So that's me. That's Pow. Here, this kid here, his name was Chris. He was my roommate at Nerd Camp that year. Let me see if I can't move some stuff around here. There we go. Let's get rid of. You've seen those comments. So anyway, we're me and Pow doing the shocker there. Feeling pretty good about it. I think I made, or maybe everyone was. We put on these little crowns trying to be fucking cool. So anyway, shout out Pow Wow, the OG homie there. So yeah, these are a lot of college pictures, of course. I was a fan of one of these ladies here. Yeah, here's more of us at the bar. This is me, Powwow. Darkness, who I love, I thought we'd be friends forever, but he doesn't like me anymore for some reason. And then that's Fish, the other guy. I thought we would be homies forever. And then he like went off to the Air Force and just disappeared forever after that. Always been a big fan of this picture. This was one of the first parties I threw after I pledged. This was the first New Year's Eve after I got into a fraternity. And these guys were going to be out of town, but they let us use their house to throw a party. And so this was after the confetti and the stuff was thrown and their house was trash. And I knew, motherfucker, I have to clean all this up. And then it was about 30 minutes before a big fight happened and cops came and I had to abandon because I was on probation. Yeah, more sort of fraternity formal stuff. And y'all remember these sort of things? Facebook back in the day, they would be like, "Which these little characters are you?" And I was always the podhead one. So this is the first picture I have with my girlfriend, I believe, or my wife, who is the one in the middle there next to me. And these are a bunch of people at the bar. This one in the blue here is on the left is my little cousin Shad, who gets mentioned a lot. And below him, his friend Sean, who I'm also like a bunch. And then black dude up here is KV, who is my other little. Skinny's my second little in fraternity. KV was my first little. And so anyway, good fraternity memories there. And then, I like any old picture of me and Powwow. I just think that was probably the most accurate depiction of old college me. And then this is, of course, from a fraternity standpoint, this was a good one for me. Big Little Night. This is like everyone after they're about to go get drunk and you get announced who your big brother, little brother is. This one right here. I hate that Facebook puts people's names up. I don't want their governments on there. This black dude here in the red shirt, that's Skinny's cousin. I'm always mentioning J Mac. So connect faces to stories here. We don't get too recently, I would say. I thought there was some good one I was going to talk about, but I'm sure I forgot. Oh, here was Nerd. I mentioned Nerd Camp a lot. Here's my Nerd Camp people my senior year. I really like this guy here. He's Navajo JP. And one of those were people unblocked me recently, so shout them out. Yeah, and this is like what they call formal and a fraternity, which is just prom with an open bar at some location. So that's pretty fun. That's something they don't talk about often, fraternity world. Oh, here's me at my druggiest, but also people say this is the best I've ever looked. I got so many compliments when the picture I'm taking here this was my ID picture from exactly 1 year to the date before the picture was taken. And I probably had lost like 50 to 60 pounds between the two. And everyone just would tell me how great I looked. And really I was just doing drugs and not eating food. And so it sent me mixed messages, but also made my eyes look very blue for some reason. I guess the drugs do that. Here's my junior prom picture. It's fucking blurry as fuck because it's back before digital cameras could handle that shit. All right, you know what? Not as many pictures as I thought. Let's see. Let me take that off. I'm gonna look in one more spot to see if there's any extras, but I bet not. Oh no, I do love something like this. This was my character in the EA UFC video game back when they had a face scan, and that looked identical. I mean, like not the body, of course. I'm not all muscular, but like it would take your face and put that motherfucker in the game. I had such bullshit that they got rid of this. This was UFC 2, EA Sports UFC 2. I also had one somewhere around here of the NBA 2K where I was a black dude. Also, shout out COVID whenever I shaved this awesome mustache going on. I really should bring it back. It's probably the most snappy-ish I've ever looked. And we're not blood related, but I was definitely going for that, for the vibes. Again, these are all basically still the same. This was I had good memories this night getting high with the boys driving in a van across state of Oklahoma. Good times. And then this is all Pi Day shit. I was in a play in high school. on the one in the floppy hat back there. And then those are my classmates that were my age. And we don't normally look as Westerny as that, but that was the theme of the play. So, and then shout out LV. This is the one that's in jail for like 63 years for robbing a bunch of shit. So anyway, a little trip down memory lane as I feel just so sad about aging, getting older. And some people are like, who gives a shit? And I really don't give a shit. I don't think, but I do think a big part of it is I'm still like the youngest in my family. You know, like my parent. I think before you have kids, I think I even mentioned this recently on here. Before you have kids, like your family is your parents. So like even though me and my wife are married, when you talk about like our family, when she mentions her family, she's talking about her mom, dad, her and her sister. And you know, she's not talking about me and her in our house. And when I say my family, I think I'm talking about me and my mom and dad. And I've lived not with them longer than I lived with them. So it is interesting. These are just thoughts I have. Also, just in like depressive thought world, I wrote a sentence down here and I was like, this makes no fucking sense. But it was how I've been feeling like, and I know it's because I'm writing and what I like to write music about and stuff, and the things that like I struggle with internally or I think about or talk to myself about it's like really hard to talk to other people because I feel like I'm just crazy. But like I just really struggle with not knowing who I am. Like not even like who I am in my core. Like I always feel like, you know, we all have some sort of mask on or something we're showing to the world. You know, I know it's hard to explain, but I'm always like, but I think the goal should be to be like who you truly are at all times. If you can, that should be like some sort of goal you have. But then I'm like, I don't even know who that is. And I talk to myself constantly. That's why I think I'm very, I used to be really judgmental of people that claim they were autistic. And I would be like, they would say this, you know, they claim all these things. I'm like, yeah, I got that too. You're not autistic. And then, you know, eventually someone's like, hey, you might be autistic. You're like, that would explain a lot. And I think that I just have those thoughts. Like, I'm very judgmental of people that are like, I have multiple personalities. I hear voices in my head or whatever. Cause I'm like, I don't hear voices in my head, but I talk to myself a lot. Or if someone's like, no, God told me this. I'm like, no, that's like your conscience. Like you're talking to yourself. You know, I'm really judgy of those sort of crazy people because I'm like, you're just misinterpreting it. But then maybe I'm just crazy and I have a good handle on it or something. You know, I don't know. But I think about this stuff way too often for a fact it does not matter at all. You know, none of these getting lost in thoughts. It doesn't lead to anything positive. Not normally anything negative either, but rarely, if ever, anything positive. So, doesn't matter. I guess the positive sometimes it leads to a line I say in a song where I go, "Ooh, that hit home." You know, like that is the positive of the deep dive into stuff. And I just remember even as a teenager, I would ask I would say dumb questions, but they really were like deep, me trying to like be as deep as I could or like trying to figure out stuff. I don't know, still trying to. It's hard to understand. But I'd have like friends that look at me like, who the fuck cares? Why do you care about it? Or, you know, or we're getting drunk, quit being a douchebag about it. But I'm like, what? Y'all don't ever think about these things, you know? So maybe I'm just always been kind of lost. Anyway, I'm rambling, I'm getting off track. Fuck that. Let's end this shit. That's what I say. We're in it with the song. I think the last song to play off of Bros, which is mine and Bradster X album, Brain Rot Over Sanity. Next week, I do have a new song coming out. Actually, it comes out 2 days from now on my birthday. But we will play it on this podcast next week. But you can go listen to it 2 days from now if you listen to the day it came out. And you should listen to it on repeat, nonstop, because you just love it. It's called Needle Nose Flow. Artwork's whatever, not the best, not the worst. Really struggling with getting artwork lately. I don't know what I'm gonna do for my next album. That's honestly a big holdup of why the album's not out yet, because I don't fucking know. But anyway, that's all we're playing here, but get ready for that one. The one we're playing here is called Ages by Bradster X and me, A2thaMo. And that's what we'll end with here. Appreciate everyone giving a listen to the show. I think next week I'm going to have Southern Comfort calling in unless something, you know, happens and he disappears on us again or something. But so we'll have some TV talk, things like that. So anyway, peace.
I hate being alive. I hate being alive. I hate breathing. I hate being alive. I'm in tremendous pain. I'm in tremendous pain. Help me, help me, help me.
The Mo makes beats.
They say something's wrong, you're always depressed. I guess, but nothing changes. I make dumb songs, I try my best. And yeah, we'll see how it ages. I wish everything was different. Constantly feel like something is missing. Try to catch a rhythm, express my feelings, but nothing feel real when you broke out your streams past 1 million. This whole thing is ruined, like what are we doing? You know we got nothing to do, we just write and we light up a doob and we dry slow. All we do, that's all we know, we too cool, we too cold, depressed as fuck, and I don't know why. Guess I'll just give up and I'll go get high right now. But bitches pipe down, I ain't really tryna put the pipe down. Like how, what the fuck is this all about? Keep knocking but I'm locked outside the house. Ain't no lights on, feel like my mind's gone. Turn the mic on and then the fight's on. They say something's wrong, you're always depressed. I guess, but nothing changes. I make dumb songs, I try my best. And yeah, we'll see how it ages. They say something's wrong, you're always depressed. I guess, but nothing changes. I make dumb songs, I try my best. Ha! And yeah, we'll see how it ages.
Yes, it'll probably age like fine art. Or maybe milk, won't know until I die apart. In a lot, writing, thinking of the end. Don't know when, until then, keep my pen sharp. Hide my cards like Kenny Rogers, I'm a gambler. Keep up my guard, being funny like old Adam Sandler. Know when to hold, know when to fold, but I'm a handful more than you can handle. Balls heavy like a pair of anvils. Ha! But I wish I did things another way. Wish I would've saved even half what I had for rainy days. Karma sharp like a razor blade. Was hoping my luck would change, but like Damon Wayans, I'm in major pain. They tell me I'm depressed, I deny it. Every time the question gets pressed, I get quiet. Maybe it's the buildup of stress or my diet. I find the time flies by fast, I don't like it.
They say something's wrong, you're always depressed. I guess, but nothing changes. I make dumb songs, I try my best. And yeah, we'll see how it ages. They say something's wrong, you're always depressed. I guess, but nothing changes. I make dumb songs, I try my best. And yeah, we'll see how it ages.
The Mo makes beats.
Well, I've made a few bad decisions, and I'm thinking of making another one. And if no one from the future is gonna come and stop me, then how bad of a decision can it really be? Honestly.
Damn.